It was dark, but the moon was shining bright. We had stayed out extra late 'cause it was Halloween night. We walked from door to door, mostly houses that we knew, but there was still one left that we'd never been to. It was tucked behind some bushes, but you could see a little light. I looked to my friend Billy, and he said, "Oh, we'll be all right." So we walked up the path, up the stairs, and to the door. Billy knocked a couple times, then got me to knock once more. I had my hand cocked back and ready, but the door swung open wide, and there stood a giant man with a patch over one eye. I giggled for a second, thinking he was Captain Hook, but I knew how wrong I was the longer that I looked. His face was gray and wrinkled. He had long and wiry hair. He was carrying a shovel. I was trying not to stare. He could tell that I was shaking, and he didn't even blink, and I could see that there was something dripping from his sink. I could see it in the background. There was a trail on the floor that started at the faucet and ended at the door. It was red and dark like crimson and thick like springtime mud, and suddenly I noticed his shovel was caked in blood. Billy grabbed my hand and pulled me, and we ran back to the road. We dropped our bags of candy and quickly ran straight home. My mother asked what happened, why we both had empty hands, but neither of us said a word about the shovel or the man. And just when she was starting to wonder if and why we'd lied, we'd heard slow, heavy footsteps coming from outside. I was deathly silent, scared beyond belief. Billy ran upstairs to hide beneath the sheets. My mother knew no better, so she headed to the door. I thought it was all over. I wouldn't see her anymore. She opened the door up quickly, and there stood the man himself, holding 2 giant bags of candy and smiling like an elf. He laughed and laughed and laughed and flipped his eye patch up and winked. Said he had to rush back home to clean up his kitchen sink. He chuckled and said goodbye. My mom was utterly confused, and though I had my bag of candy, I was not at all amused. I didn't think it funny. I was still too scared to laugh. Sometimes a scare is too real to put it in the past.